on that design.
Like I'm looking at her feet and I'm just like, fucking, like, ow. Like, yeah, it just, I don't know. I think that design is complete shit. Like, and not just because of the boobs. It just looks completely weird and off, and
It's kind of weird.
I mean, I like boobs, but like, that's not the problem. It just looks bad. It's just.
It looks okay for me. I can go without the feet. But like the heels, yeah, I can deal without them.
And the hands. She's got those weird hands.
It's like the designer didn't know what the hell they were doing.
Yeah, this whole game has a weird character design. This whole game has a weird character design. I just say that.
Okay, I think this is
I think Pyra. I mean, I also think Pyra looks too cute to have such big boobs. Like, it looks weird.
Okay, we're gonna get into that, people. We're gonna get into all that.
All right.
Let's start let's get some of the topics out the way, and then we're gonna go on Xenoblade and it's bullshit. All right, so I guess the other people and the other members, they're not gonna show up. We're gonna have a quick podcast here, it seems. So it's HPMP episode 22. We got some familiar faces here. Well, all familiar faces rather. And we're just going to go around the table and just do our own introductions. So go ahead, Shintai. Last one to arrive.
Hey, what's up? It's Shintai. I'm glad to be here, as always, to talk about our cringy anime bullshit.
And you didn't even make your bed.
I didn't. No, I didn't.
It's terrible. It's terrible. Gab, go ahead.
Hey,
you're making me self-conscious.
It's okay. I'm sorry. Hey, it's Gab. If you know me by my channel, it's GabMute. If you don't, Shadow will link it down below. I can't focus.
Facts. Nightmare, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, it's Nightmare Alpha. I do shit on the internet, and I'm confused of girls with too much boobs. That's a new one for me. That's really a new one for me because I know them in all sizes, especially the big ones. So that's weird.
Bob, go right ahead, man.
Hey guys, Bowser Carriger here. Happy to be here as always. Enjoying Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Hope you are as well.
All right. So let's jump into these topics right now.
Hold on, we got someone else that jumped in.
Whoa.
Who jumped in?
Michael.
Yes, hello.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right. Oh, glad you can make it, man. I didn't think you were gonna show up.
All right, I'm here. Yeah.
All right, man. Go ahead with your introduction, bro.
Okay, what's good, everybody? This is Riku-san One, the only one, and I'm here on this JRPG podcast because I am looking for like-minded people that like JRPGs like me. I'm trying to get into this series, and yeah, I'm here to give my opinion on some stuff. Shouldn't you be asking me what my favorite JRPG is? Don't you do that?
Yeah, I was about to just ask you. Go ahead. What's your favorite JRPG, man?
Well, since I said I just started to get into JRPGs, I'm kind of starting from the beginning of the Final Fantasies, and then we're gonna sway off into, the other classic PS1 games. But the reason I wanted to get into JRPGs in the first place is because of the Eiyu Densetsu series, the Trails of Cold Steel series in particular. Trails of Cold Steel 2 is my favorite turn-based JRPG right now. So because of that game, it's made me want to go and play a lot of other turn-based RPG games to see if there's anything out there that, in my opinion, I feel is a better game than that, because that game fucking blew my mind. So I was just like, if this is what turn-based RPG games can be, I need to play the best of the best. The Xenogears, the Suikoden's, the Final Fantasy 6 and 9s, all of that shit. So,
wow.
Go ahead.
You didn't find Cold Steel 2 too overbearing, I guess?
Nah. This is someone coming off of reading a lot of manga, because before my JRPG craze, my previous craze was just reading manga. Just a lot of fucking manga. Like, I read and watched all of One Piece in about a month and a half last year.
Jesus.
How the fuck do you do that? That's impossible.
It's called 20 episodes a day. Until
God.
That is still that.
No.
Wow.
Oh yes.
Did you have nothing? And did you have nothing to do? Did you have nothing to do? It's like
no. During that time, I was unemployed, so yeah, I actually did have nothing to do.
Oh, okay, all right. He has the excuse, people. He has a good excuse.
Yeah. So I was able to knock that out and get all the way caught up with One Piece. I also watched all the movies during that time, also. So I'm all caught up with One Piece, staying caught up, with the manga and whatnot. But the point is, I read a lot, So I started from Trails in the Sky, first and second chapter, and then third one that came out earlier this year. And then I hopped into Cold Steel. So all of that dialogue and overbearing, everyone always talks about slow pacing. I just got off of One Piece. All right, that has a lot. That has a shit ton of dialogue, slow pacing, and all that stuff. Also, it's all worth it if you can stick through and actually pay attention. And I did. And yeah, Trails of Cold Steel too, man. Shadow, you said you haven't played it yet, right?
Nah, I haven't played it. I'm waiting for the PC release.
You should honestly, I would say you should wait for that PS4. That 4K 60. If you're looking for the best version, because I know you like the best version and everything, that one would technically be a better version than the PS4 version, wouldn't it? I mean, the PC version.
I don't think so. The PC version, you could probably do a lot more, especially with mods and stuff. Probably end up doing a lot more.
Believe me, they can fix games in less time than you ever think. It's kind of funny.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean,
the version would be a good way to go. Also,
I think the moment the PS4 version comes out, there will probably already be a patch or a mod or something that will allow you to play it in 4K and on PC anyways.
Good point. Either way, when you play Cold Steel 2, man. Oh, yeah, I fucking love that game. I don't know, has anyone else here played that or no?
I did it like a month or two ago.
Okay. Yep.
I gotta get ready to get back into that because all the dialogue and stuff like that.
You gotta be ready for that, man.
Yeah, I gotta get my mind ready for that.
I think I'm glad I started off with that series. So now that I'm playing all the other turn-based RPG games, their dialogue is nowhere in comparison as far as quantity. So like these Final Fantasies I'm running through, everyone talks like one sentence and we're moving on.
Which Final Fantasy are you on right now?
I just finished Final Fantasy 4. That one is probably, so I finished 1, 2, and 3 earlier a couple of months. So I just finished 4 2 nights ago. I got the
4 compared to the first 3 is easily the best one.
It fucking destroys it. Because before I played 4, my favorite was 1. 2 was okay. I didn't really like the beginning of 2, and it was too easy at the end. 3 I liked all the way up to the end. That final dungeon was retarded, and it killed my hype for it. And then 4 4 became my instant favorite. Fucking an hour in, I was like, "What the fuck? This is really fucking good." So and
think about it, like that game came out like in the early '90s on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, and
it's like holy shit, they were like really ahead of their time with that game.
Yeah, they really did some good shit with that one. I was playing the PSP Complete Edition version. So.
Best version.
I just finished Interlude last night, so I'm playing After Years right now. And I'm like, what the fuck? There's some Shippuden stuff here. It's cool. I like Final Fantasy 4 a lot. It's my current favorite Final Fantasy, at least until I get to like 6, 9, and 10. Everyone keeps on screaming about those.
So you're literally going in order.
Yeah, I'm going in order.
Wow.
I'll play Tactics, and I'll play Crisis Core, and I'll play
Tactics is my favorite.
Yeah, I heard good stuff about Tactics also. So I'll play those 3 spin-offs: Typo, Crisis Core, and Tactics. But as far as Final Fantasy 14 and 11, no. And as far as 13, unless it comes to PS4, I'm not turning on a PS3 to play Final Fantasy 13 either. But
you can play it on the PC if you want.
I could, but here's the thing about
prepare your hard drive, bro. Prepare your hard drive.
Rikusen 1 is a I would call myself a former trophy hunter. I have I have what 151 platinums.
God damn.
So as far as these Final Fantasy games, when I get to Final Fantasy 7, I bought all the Final Fantasies that you could on my Vita. The PS1 Classic. So I have all of them 1 through 9, and then they've released 7 and 9 on PS4. So when I do play 7, I'll play it on PS4. Same thing with 9, and I'll try to platinum them. Same thing with 10.
I would say it's better to play Final Fantasy 7 on PC with the fan translation.
Trophy whore here.
Oh yeah, he wants a trophy.
Fuck the trophies. Okay, wipe those trophies with your ass. Okay, because because the original version of Final Fantasy VII has a terrible translation.
Really?
Really, really bad translation.
Mm.
So you would be better off playing the PC version and patching it with fan translation that is so much better. It's not even funny. Like, it's literally night and day.
Well, here's the thing. I already bought it, so I'm gonna play what I bought. I would definitely take what you said into consideration if I didn't buy it yet, because I did the same thing with Chrono Trigger. I bought Chrono Trigger already on the PS1. Everyone's like, "Oh, the DS version is superior. Don't play that shitty long loading PS1 version." I'm like, I already bought it. So,
Yeah, I bought the DS version and it's awesome.
yeah, because I'd recently just bought a 3DS also, because another series I was gonna hop into was the Dragon Quest series. I was gonna play 1 through 11.
Yeah, I think we're at 11 now.
Excluding 10, because 10 is a MMO just like the other ones. But didn't 1 through 3 come out on PS4 in Japan? Dragon Quest.
I think they're all like some of them are out in English already on a DS. I'm not sure which ones.
I was talking about as far as PS4. I think the Dragon Quest 1, 2, and 3 are on PS4 in Japan, and I remember them saying that they were going to release them over here. So when they do, I'll play 1, 2, and 3 on PS4, and then 4 through 9 on DS, and then hop to 11. But that's we're talking about like 2019 when I get to that shit. Because I
say, like, Riku, you remind me a little of myself when I was just getting into JRPGs. I was just playing everything.
Yeah, dude. This genre is slowly but surely becoming my favorite genre. Before that, it was action RPGs and hack and slash.
Oh my god, you're on the best. You're on the fast track to a burnout, man.
Yeah. Well, I was. My friend was like, take a break between Final Fantasies, go play something else and whatnot. And I have been doing that. I think after I'm doing after years, instead of hopping straight into Final Fantasy V, I'm gonna play Tokyo Xanadu and Ys 8. And then
Tokyo Xanadu, that's one I want to play as well. But I don't know if I'm gonna have time for that.
Yeah, those 2 games came out this year. I want to knock those out before this year is over. So, yeah, let's get into these topics, I guess.
Real quick, it'd be interesting if you start with Final Fantasy VII Remake. Actually, Final Fantasy VII, but who knows when that's actually coming out? So,
I tell you, man, if Moon crashes into my ghetto.
Let's get with the first topic of the right now. Let's see. Let's go with it's gonna be real quick. Pokemon Sun, Ultra Moon. Has anybody played that?
I have.
Is it worth us getting? Is it worth getting it if you already played the original?
If you played the original, no, do not waste $40 on it. If you have not played the originals, then go ahead.
What is the difference?
They added basically 2 new Pokemon every route. There's little story bits here and there that are different. And then the game doesn't really change until like the 35 hour mark. Like, it's literally the exact same game. So you have to sit through the exact same game you've already played up to that point to get to the new content.
Jesus. Fucking Pokemon. Hey, can I tell my Pokemon story or?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So as far as turn-based RPG games, you know how they say baby's first RPG. Well, that was me back in the good old days when I was a baby.
Baby's first RPG.
That's what everyone calls it. And my mom was like, "Here you go, Game Boy Pocket and Pokemon Blue." And I was like, "Wee," So I played some Pokemon. Back in the '90s, everybody loved Pokemon. Well, majority of people like Pokemon. And then, up to that point, all I played was Pokemon on my Game Boy. So I missed out on a lot of good Game Boy games from Game Boy Pocket straight to Advance. I played a little Sonic when it came to Game Boy Advance, a little Mario, but it was just, I went from blue to red to gold to silver to crystal to what came out after that? Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald. I played both versions of
Diamond and Pearl.
Yeah, straight up to Diamond and Pearl. That's when I stopped. After Diamond and Pearl, I was like, all right, I'm done with Pokemon. I don't want to play any fucking more.
I was kind of done after the XY series. I was like, I can't do this anymore. It's like, it's the same shit. It doesn't really matter anymore.
And then the thing is, since I just bought a 3DS, I actually bought this 3DS off of my friend. And he was like, well, if you're going to have this 3DS, you might as well just have all my games too. So he gave me Monster Hunter 4, Super Mario 3D Land and Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Y. And I was like, oh god, Pokemon. what are they trying to tell me? To get back into Pokemon? He's like, oh, Pokemon Y is probably the best Pokemon of all time. And I was like, better than Gold? And he's like, yeah. And I was like,
no. What? Better than Gold? What? No.
I was like, I don't know. I mean, I have him here, but I'm over here playing real RPG, so I don't. I really don't want to hop back into Pokemon, but I have him here. But I'm just like, I don't.
Done with all those baby RPGs.
Yeah.
You wanna know what the best is? What had happened to the Pokemon franchise in the last 20 years?
Pokken?
It's called Pokemon Tabletop United, and it's basically a tabletop RPG with Pokemon where you can make your own adventures. It's way more fun and way more thought out than Pokemon could ever be, because people are actually interested in doing shit.
See, that sounds a little bit too hardcore. See, the casuals ain't gonna like that.
It's definitely too hardcore, but if you want to have an experience with Pokemon you never had before, then this is probably the best thing. You know, if you want to do some shit that you see in the television show but never get to play, this is probably your opportunity.
I would say, as far as a Pokemon experience that I've never had before and I want, here's the thing about the Nintendo Switch. I haven't gotten a Nintendo Switch, and at this time I don't intend to, because in my opinion, you need at least 4 to 5 games that you really want to play on a console before you actually make your purchase on it. And
yep.
Somebody hears my gospel.
So as far as the stuff that are out on Nintendo Switch, the only thing I see that they have out and coming out was Octopath. That was the only thing I saw in it that I wanted. And when they said that they were making a Pokemon RPG, I was like, Now, if that Pokemon RPG looks, let's say it looks like the gameplay of, like, let's say a Final Fantasy X or something, they might have me with that. But that's still only 2 games.
Supposedly, it's supposed to be a full-on game for the Switch, utilizing the whole Switch's capabilities. But
wait a minute, no hype for Xenoblade 2?
So here's the thing about the Xeno series. Aren't we going to talk about the Xeno series in the?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we're gonna go.
I'll save the Xeno series for when that I have a Xeno series story. So yeah. But as far as Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, no.
Yeah, I just wasn't that interested in it, honestly. I asked someone about it who had it, and just didn't seem worth it to me to spend more on that game.
You're just milking it.
I was gonna get it myself, but then I was like, I don't have a new 3DS still, so I was like, I'm not playing 3DS games until I get a new 3DS. And again, it doesn't seem like it's worth that much.
Yeah.
So that's unfortunate. All right, so the Demon Souls servers are shutting down.
Yeah, that's depressing.
Kind of.
All the Souls games are depressing.
Yeah, but not in that kind of way. But you know, the great evil has become. The Age of Fire is coming to an end.
No server is immortal. I mean, you guys been hearing the speculations and rumors about why they closed that down, right? I mean, it's 1 + 1 is 2.
Oh, they're gonna come out with a re-release or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, they had planned to shut it down a while back, but then people were like, no, keep it around. We want to keep playing the game. And then they're like, all right, fine, we'll keep it around.
But don't you think if those people at this juncture would still want to play the game?
Yeah, exactly. With Dark Souls and whatnot, Bloodborne, why you going back to the PS3 or something?
No, we were just talking about the people. Let's say there has to be someone out there that loves Demon Souls so much that they haven't even moved over to the next generation. They just play Demon Souls all day, every day. If that
1 or 2 individuals,
individuals that just love Demon Souls so much that they're still playing it till today. If From Software and Sony wanted to make some money, they would remaster that and bring it to PS4, moving those people finally off of that.
But I don't see them ever doing a remaster.
No, I also not.
And that's the thing. I remember when people said they're not going to do a remaster of Dark Souls 2 for PS4, and look at them. Dark Souls 2 remaster for PS4, 1080-60.
Oh,
so
it is?
I would say never, but would I go back and play it? Yeah, I would.
I'm not saying it's an impossibility or anything like that. I'm just saying this alone isn't evidence to suggest that they're doing a remaster.
Yeah, it's not evidence, but
it feels like From Software wants to move on from the series as of now. It just feels like it. So
I mean, they've been doing nothing but Souls games for the past decade almost.
Who wants another Armored Core?
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of people want a new Armored Core.
Yeah, I see that too.
I wanted to play Armored Core, but I ain't gonna lie, it was way too complicated for me.
Like, yeah, that's the appeal, bro.
So
that's
much
the
stuff.
appeal.
Like the thruster values, like how your weight was, where you were moving. I'm like, I
fucking JRPG God can't handle a little Armored Core. What?
Man, giant robots. Okay, I don't care that much for giant robots. So
hey, calm down. I love you.
Pleb.
All right.
I'm disappointed in you.
I would. Either way, I would love a Demon Souls remaster. A lot of people would. So, I think it would behoove them to make it.
I more than anyone would want to, because Demon Souls is, for me, is on the lower end, mostly because it's, it's not very well optimized. It's fucking janky. I mean, it's
pretty.
And the frame drops on that game, pretty rough. If they can remaster it, and even better if they can, because they originally were going to have like one more full area for you to explore it. So if they could not only remaster it, but like remake it and like put in the content that was initially cut from the game, that would be amazing. That would make it like one of the weaker games in the series, in my opinion. Make it one of the better ones. Like that. I mean, some people think it's one of the better ones anyways, but like I think that would push it even further and make it like, godlike status.
Yeah. You see what they're doing with the Shadow of the Colossus remake, where basically it looks like a remaster for PS4, but it's a remake from the ground up, just, hitting everything that the previous one did. So it just looks like a far better version, but keeping everything the same.
It literally is a remake.
Yeah, it is a remake.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. But it looks, to me, personally, because I played it on PS3, so the jump from how it looked from PS2 to PS3, and the jump from how it looks to PS3 to PS4, it looks like a remaster to me. But it's a remake.
No, the graphics are clearly redone. Like, they're not just upscaled. Those are new assets. Those were made for the remake. It doesn't look like a remaster at all. It does look like a remake. That's all new graphics and assets and everything.
So it's definitely not like .hack GU. It's definitely a complete...
Well, .hack GU is a remaster because it's the same assets that are just being polished and put to a higher resolution and faster frame rate.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to make sure. I wasn't sure.
Like I said,
the key difference is a remaster takes the same assets and polishes it so that it can be seen properly in a higher resolution, while a remake is brand new assets for not necessarily new content, but for like a new experience.
No, but what I'm saying is that when it comes to remakes, all of the remakes that I saw, they look drastically better than what the previous version. I know this is a big jump of a comparison, but let's use the Crash Bandicoot remake for example. That looks, completely different. It even kind of plays different. And a lot of remakes, when they make remakes, they kind of play different too, just to some degree. This one looks like it won't play any different. People even said the controls are still going to use the outdated controls for the Shadow of the Colossus remake.
Well, I think the controls are fine. So
really, circle? What did they use? Square to jump or some shit, or circle?
Triangle?
Jesus,
I think there's nothing wrong with that.
Come on, modernize it.
You can bind the controls if you wanted to.
Oh, so no. I'm just saying.
That's not even a big deal.
Bro, this is not a Nintendo game. We can rebind keys.
Doesn't the PS4 have freaking control configuration? So that's good.
Yes.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
You can rebind the controls on the original PS2 version.
Yeah, that's also true. So it's not a big deal. You just have to go into the menu and hit the options button. I know that's new to a lot of people, but it's actually there, man, and it was there for a long time.
That reminds me.
I hit up.
So I saw this tweet. I thought it was hilarious. Where this one guy posted a video of some of the battle lines from Xenoblade 2, where this guy is like, you think you can take me? And it's just like repeated over and over and over again. And in response, this one guy said, oh, you can actually mute that in the options, which is a perfectly reasonable thing to say. And then someone responded to him, it's like, oh, if you think that makes this okay, you're sorely wrong. And I'm like, what? He literally told you how to fix the problem.
But wait, the problem shouldn't be there to begin with. If it's that annoying, it shouldn't be there. That's a flaw. If you gotta go in the options to turn it off, That's a flaw with the game.
I don't really
It would be worse.
If the game gives you the option to nullify the problem, I don't really think it's a big deal.
Well, it's like if the background music is louder than the voiceovers. That's a problem.
Like
Sonic, you have to go in and turn it down. That's something against the game right there.
I don't really agree.
That's Sonic
the game gives you control over that, so I don't see how it's an issue.
That's more of a nitpick, if anything. But you know. So I don't see it that way, and as long as you can change something in the options menu, it's not as shitty as some of the Sonic games have been with this kind of banter shit.
I think it's more of an issue if you have to mod a game in order to fix it, because modding a game is going outside of the parameters of the game itself in order to solve something that should have been fixed by the developers themselves. In this instance, you don't have to go out of your way to fix something. You're just going into the options and you're moving a slider. I mean, that's not a big deal.
I don't agree with that at all.
I would say there's definitely 3 tiers to this. The worst version is it's that bad and you can't change it. The second one, it's that bad and you can change it. And then, you know, the best is it's not even there in the first place. We're right in the middle, you know? So,
sure.
Like I said, it could be worse. They could have not given you the option to not turn it off, you know?
Yeah, that would have been worse, but they do give you the option. It shouldn't be there in the first place. It's simple.
Well, it's just I guess someone over there thought it actually wasn't a bad, you know, option. So that's why it's in there. Sorely were they wrong.
Okay.
I mean, again, if the option is there, then I don't. At worst, it's a nitpick, and it's not a huge deal.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right. So let's move on to Valkyria Chronicles 4. It's coming out to my just so happy that this game is coming out. Thank God it wasn't Valkyria Revolutions 2 or some bullshit like that.
Oh yeah, I would have been pissed.
I would have straight up just destroyed everything. I would have found Sega and I would have just burned them to the ground.
Fucking Sega.
I would have shipped a tank to Japan and ram it right into a headquarters. I tell you, with a helicopter, right into their face.
So wait, did anybody here actually played the previous Valkyria games, or?
I played 1 and 3.
I played 1.
I have played all of them.
So, question as someone, you know, diving and swimming through the sea that is JRPGs that I want to play. Valkyria Chronicles 1 came out for PS4, right?
Yeah, came out for PS3, PS4, and it's on Steam.
Yes. Should that be a series that I should be considering?
Yeah, you should look into it.
Yes, it should. You should definitely be considering it. The first one, yeah, definitely. That's like the best in the series almost. The third one is not in English. You have to get a patch to play it, and you can play it on emulator.
But it runs smooth, so it's a good one.
Yeah. The second one, I say skip, to be honest.
Yeah, it's not worth it. If you're really deep into school anime, you might find it appealing, but that's a very big but.
Do these games are they different stories, or is it an ongoing story?
Same universe, but
it's always a different story. It always brings light to different parts of the story. You know, the first game and the third game are chronologically happening at the same time, but they're very different in tone and setting.
Also, the third game spoils the first game, just so you know.
Yeah, that's also true, but you know,
it does.
But who cares for that?
One of the things I'm seeing that people are like, they're hyped for Valkyria Chronicles 4. Like, even people that didn't play Valkyria, they're hyped for it. Now, this is a problem I'm also seeing with the people that have played Persona 5. Like, people that played Persona 5, they were coming from like everybody hyping the game up like crazy, but when they actually got into playing Persona 5, they were a little bit off-put that the game is like 100 hours long, and that you know, the social link access aspect of it is rather long. So I kind of see that this is probably going to be the same case with Valkyria Chronicles, because the battles in Valkyria Chronicles, they do take a long time. Like, you're looking at about maybe maybe 20 minutes, a half hour, maybe at most an hour, especially on the final battles to complete it. And I think a lot of people are going to get off put by that when the game does come out. But
that's why you have only moderate amounts of hype, so that you are not going to the final station, to the final destination. The final destination is disappointment, you know? You want to get into the sweet spot. Satisfaction City.
Here's the sweet spot's right here.
Yeah, exactly.
But a lot of people aren't going to view it like that. I said, well, Persona 5. I see a lot of people that have a problem with Persona 5. They hate the length. That when they hear that it's 100 hours, it's just completely like they don't want to play the game at all.
What?
There's short attention.
Yeah,
actually think
in
that?
In a time where people sink 500 hours in Angry Birds, and they don't have a time for this shit, well, the filthy casual has been revealed, I guess.
I think as far as sinking 500 hours into Angry Birds, the little difference between that is they're sinking 500 hours into Angry Birds while they're on the go versus being locked down at your TV in front of a PS4, you know, for...
Okay, yeah, that's true.
But at the same time, after I finished Persona 5, I didn't even feel its length. Like by the end of it, it didn't even feel like I spent like that much time into the game. I when I came at the end, it was a satisfying conclusion. I was done with it, and I just kind of look back and I'm like, wow, that was a great adventure. You know, I wasn't dwelling on the fact like, oh my fucking god, the game was so long. Like,
you should.
God damn it, end already! No, it was like, oh, I want to see it through to the end. It was very well paced, you know, and that's what's important.
Does anybody remember their playtime?
Mine was like 90 hours, 91.
I could run my system and take a look. I have my save game probably.
Probably about 140 hours total. But that's doing the platinum as well. I seen somebody say it takes like 400 hours to do the platinum. I'm like,
that's like damn lie.
What are you doing?
Damn, 400. What the fuck?
No, they said something like that. I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, just look at the trophy list and just go from there. Like, you can't possibly spend that much time in the game.
That was 2 playthroughs, Shadow?
That's been like maybe 2 playthroughs and a half.
Okay, yeah, I did 2 playthroughs. Mine was 196.
Damn, 196 hours. Holy shit. Maybe I should look at that and see how many hours. But I'm pretty sure it's around 140 hours total.
Yeah. And don't even get me started. Fucking Persona 4 when I was trying to platinum that. That was last year or the year before last when that's when I decided, all right, I'm gonna get into JRPGs, and I love my Vita a lot. So my friend was like, "Oh, how do you love your Vita, but you haven't played the best Vita game of all time, Persona 4 Golden?"
Basically.
Sounds about right.
All right, you know what? I'll play Persona 4 Golden.
Sounds like Shadow.
Yeah, pretty much. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, you're right.
I was like, all right. I'll play Persona 4 Golden. Great game. But I was not ready for that goddamn what's the trophy called?
The Retake Trophy or something like that.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I saw that. I was gonna try to platinum it too. Then I saw that and I was like,
if I'd have known that trophy doesn't, your lines don't carry over per playthrough, they don't tell you that. It doesn't.
Oh.
So I'm like getting lines and I'm like, okay, I got 100 this playthrough. I'm gonna get 100 next playthrough. Nope. That increased my playtime from what should have been 150 to 170 at most to 286 hours.
Holy shit. Oh my God.
I planned it, but it took me like 4.5, maybe 5 playthroughs.
Oh man. Wow. So wait, how many playthroughs did you do before you realized it wasn't carrying over?
I was trying to do it each playthrough as I was doing other stuff, like social links, because I think when it comes to that game, you can't just, oh yeah, I'm gonna get all the social links. No, you gotta literally follow a guide for every single day in the entire game and follow the guide.
Yeah, really? Oh shit. Yeah.
One by one. If you could get away with it in Persona 5 where you could do what you want and max out everyone, but you can't do that. In Persona 4 Golden. You if you follow the guide, you don't even have 2 days left to do what you want. Like every day you do has to be, something towards friendship. And I was like, because I tried it without the guy, and I was like, what the fuck? I don't have enough days to max out all my bonds. This is impossible. And the guy was like, dude, you got to follow a guide because there's no fucking way you can, get that.
You can't brute force it by yourself. There's no way.
No. Not in the Golden. In the original game, it was possible, but not in the Golden. There's so much more things to do. So.
Oh yeah, with Marie and stuff like that. Yeah, you probably.
Yeah. It's kind of a lot. I remember my first completion time of Persona 4. It was 27. It was 72 hours. It was great.
Yeah, mine's were around 78 hours.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah, that was.
Yeah. So I played Persona 4 Golden and I played Persona 5. I actually got the platinum before you, Shadow. I checked.
Really? You did?
I did.
Bastard.
No, but the thing is, everyone's like,
to bring up his god status into question.
I know, right? No, don't be saying that on my podcast, man. You know, keep it to yourself. Low key, man.
No. Then the guy that I was talking to that told me, "Oh, you got to play Persona 4 Golden, best Vita game of all time." So let's say I finished Persona 4 Golden, right? And I'm like, okay, so let me go back to that guy and talk to him about Persona 4 Gold. He's like, wait, don't spoil the game for me. I'm like, wait.
Oh no, he did not.
Wait, I'm like, hold on.
Hold him the fuck out.
You told
the fuck out.
You told me to play this game.
God.
I played 5.5 playthroughs and put 268 hours into it, and you didn't even finish it once.
Yeah.
And he was like, and then he was like, well, Persona 3 is better anyway, so you should play.
Oh my God!
I was like, you know
what? God!
Okay.
Where's my fucking bed? I have to rush somebody.
Fuck.
What were you gonna say, Daniel?
I said, okay, I agree that Persona 3 is better, but that's still shitty of him. Like, fuck him for that. What an asshole.
I hate that shit. I hate people that overhype games and they don't finish games. Like,
Yeah, he did the same thing with Persona 5 when before I got to Persona 4, I was in a chat room with him and his other friends, and he was like, they're all hyped for Persona 5. This is before I even knew he didn't finish Persona 4. So when I finished Persona 4 before Persona 5 came out, he was like, yeah, I'm hyped for Persona 5, and I'm sitting here like, you need to finish fucking Persona 4, and then Persona 5 comes out and he disappears. Still hasn't finished it till this day.
Yo, real talk. I hate those type of people. I really do. It's one thing if you're looking forward to a game to come out, that's cool, and you can't wait for it to come out. That's great. But when you freaking hyping it up, spreading the gospel of the game, like this game's gonna be amazing. Oh my God, and you don't fucking finish it. That just gets underneath my skin completely.
So as far as playing Persona 3, Persona 2, Persona 1, everyone's like, oh yeah, you should play them. Right now, I'm burnt out of Persona. So
I don't blame you.
I'm gonna play all these Final Fantasies and Xenogears and whatnot. I might go back to Persona, but I don't want to see anything.
You're gonna go back and play Persona 2.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I think in due time I'll go back and play 1, 2, and 3. But we're talking about like 2021.
2021.
Yeah, PS5.
Don't play Persona 1. That's not
here's the thing. People said don't play Final Fantasy 1, and I did that. So
true.
And it's actually not a bad game. It's actually quite an enjoyable one. Yeah. So
everyone's like, yeah, don't start from Final Fantasy.
Persona 2 though has some really cool characters.
Yeah,
I couldn't even get out of Persona 2. I'm sorry. Persona 2.
Wow.
I didn't like
Final Fantasy 2 either.
Nah, I couldn't deal with that.
Yeah, I remember someone was like, "Don't start from Final Fantasy 1 and 2. You should start from Final Fantasy 7." I was like,
"What?"
He's like, "Just start from 7. Fuck everything before that and continue on. You can skip 8 also. Go to 10 and
skip
then
8."
Yeah, I was like, Jesus, what are you trying to make me? No, I'm gonna start from 1.
Oh my God! If we two would switch places, you wouldn't believe how many gut punches I would.
This is why I told Shadow. This is why I told Shadow. I was like, bro, I need some real JRPG friends. Because my friends are insane. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. They're playing Fortnite all the time and Call of Duty and Destiny, and I'm sitting.
What? Get new friends, please.
Destiny?
Yes.
You know what? Fuck those people. We're your new friends now.
Yeah.
I was just like, bro. I like to talk to them about anime and other stuff. By the way,
I wouldn't even talk to them about anime. I'd be like, no, not anymore.
Did you even finish the anime? Like, you talking shit about it. Did you even finish the anime? Like,
I'm the guy to go to when when they want to find out about an anime or a manga. So. I try to sway them in the right direction when it comes to that. So I can talk to them about anime because I know I'm the most knowledgeable about that. But when it comes to like video games, where our video game tastes are just so far out there. Like I'll be in a PSN chat, everyone's playing Destiny. I'm here playing Final Fantasy 3. So it's just like I need to find some new people.
I still think you are the winner in this kind of game.
Say what?
Destiny.
I mean, if Think about it. You're playing Final Fantasy, and we're playing Destiny. Who is the winner? Who really wins in this kind of situation?
I gotta agree.
You are.
The thing is, back in 2014, I was crazy into Destiny 1. And
yeah, me too. I think I was as well, but then I started realizing the bullshit, and I was like, nope, not doing this anymore.
I enjoyed my time for it, put 250, platinumed it, and then I left before all the DLC came out and whatnot. But Destiny 2 came around, I played it a little bit, didn't even platinum it. I finished it, but I was just like, I think I'm done with anything that has a fucking gun in it.
Don't say something like that. You have to play Valkyria Chronicles. There are a lot of guns in this game.
Okay, I understand. When I meant guns, I meant shooters.
Yeah, I know what you meant. I know what you meant.
Yeah, so Valkyria Chronicles, Persona 5, yeah, they have guns. I didn't mean it like that.
So real quick, Wiku, which one did you like better, Persona 4 or Persona 5?
Jeez, every day is switching. Right now, I would say Persona 5, only because I like the characters of Persona 5 more than 4. I do not like Chie one bit. I'm sorry.
You know what? I take it back. That shit
Rise all day, every day. Team Rise. I'm not down with that whole tomboy kicking Yosuke in the nuts and meeting karate out. No, I don't like.
She's
sorry.
Okay,
I don't like my girls tomboyish. I like my girls girly. So.
Oh no way! Get the fuck out of here.
Sorry.
Oh my god!
There's gonna be a lot of bubbles pop today. I got something to talk to Shadow about in there.
Waifu wars, yeah.
Wait a minute. What about Yukiko?
Yukiko was fine until she started laughing.
Oh my god!
When she started laughing at these cheesy jokes, I was just like, okay, I'm sorry, Yukiko, you're down.
I'm sorry, Shadow. Yukiko is shit tier.
Oh my god!
I hate.
There's one good thing about her, and that's her design.
Yeah, I was like, because I liked Yukiko at the beginning before I knew Rise. I was like, between Chie and Yukiko, I'm taking Yukiko. And then Rise came. I was like, fuck the both of you. Rise time. Sorry, I love.
Okay, well, who was your Persona 5 best girl? You need to answer me.
Persona 5 best girl. Dude, that's a tough one.
There's a right and a wrong answer to this, so you gotta hit the right answer. Right.
Well, name all the girls again to refresh my memory.
Persona 5 is chock full of waifus.
There's Futaba,
Haru,
Makoto. Yeah, there we go, Makoto.
Okay, good. All right, you chose Makoto. Okay, good. We're back.
I was signing on for a little while, but then it was Makoto. When Makoto came around, I was like, yeah, it's Makoto.
Yeah, I actually thought I was going to like Futaba the most before the game came out, but then Makoto came in and I was just like, no.
If there's one thing that almost sold me on Futaba was her line when you max out her friendship bond, because I'm a trophy horse, so when she said, did I earn the platinum? I was like, ooh, you almost got me there.
Oh,
that was a cute one, little girl, but I'm still girl.
I like her because she reminded me of myself, but I ended up liking Haru the most because of her design. Haru.
Yeah.
Haru.
Yeah.
Haru's cute. I think Haru would have been better had she been introduced in the game a lot earlier.
Oh yes, completely agree.
Yeah, the first playthrough.
But like, man, she has a giant ass gun all the time. It's amazing.
It's not the same as how it was in Persona 4 with Naoto, because at least with Naoto, throughout the game, the party had been interacting with her. Yeah. So by the time she joins, you feel like you already have a feel for her character. But with Haru, they didn't really do that, so it felt like she didn't get as much time to get fleshed out or develop.
The thing I didn't like about Haru is, I guess some people like that aspect of her, but I didn't like the fact that she was just so damn slow. Haru was kind of a dope.
Oh, you talking about like stupid?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say she's stupid. She's just slow.
Like an airhead.
Yeah, there you go, airhead. She just it just seems like she takes a long time to process anything. You know, remember when she first got introduced to her and
Morgana,
and I was just like, Jesus, who is this girl? You know, I couldn't get behind her.
Oh, I just love her design so much. I love the floofy hair.
Yeah, I like the hat that she got on too. I like her whole design and her.
I love her like after the surprise attack, and she's sipping the tea, and it says adieu.
That's cool. Yeah, that's cool. The thing. Go ahead.
The graphic design in that game is like insane. It's awesome.
Yeah, presentation. Well,
Yeah,
I was
it's
gonna say about the squad between 4 and 5. Like I said, I like the squad in 5 more. When I first got introduced to Teddy, man, I hated Teddy a lot.
Oh, actually, yeah, me too. I did too.
I like Teddy.
I
But,
still hate Teddy.
Oh, damn, you guys must hate me right now.
Over time, Teddy grew on to me, so I
Yeah.
like Teddy now. But I hated him at the beginning.
Wait, he grew onto you like a parasite?
Yeah, Teddy. I think I liked Teddy when he became playable and he started saving my team and was doing amazing like healing spells and all that stuff. So that's probably why Teddy saved himself. Morgana's cool. I like Morgana. I think the only time I didn't like Morgana was when Morgana went on his little,
Emo phase.
Yeah,
I hated that part. It was.
Yeah.
Oh.
I kind of feel like it was unwarranted as well. It's like you're clearly doing something to help out the party here, bro. Like,
Yeah, and then we had to chase them around the what's the
metaverse.
Yeah.
I
was just Morgana almost killed it there. But
yeah, I feel like that whole part could have been cut out and not much would have been changed.
I think it felt like they needed some sort of like confrontation between the squad, and they were like, okay, well, let's throw something in here with Morgana because now we got all these new characters. Morgana's not really doing anything, and we need some confrontation. Let's just throw this in there. So it was. Some people say they liked it.
Say it was forced. Yeah, it was a little bit forced. I didn't care for that at all.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, it didn't last long.
Which one?
Yeah, it was like
That whole arc with Morgana didn't really last that long, so there's at least that. But honestly, shouldn't have been there in the first place.
Yeah, I think that's another reason people hate Ryuji so much.
Ryuji.
Yeah, he was kind of a dick during all of that.
Yeah, Ryuji on the blind kid. Yeah, he was a huge dick during all that. Like he was really like being an asshole.
Yeah, Ryuji. When I saw Ryuji reminded me of like if Yosuke and Kanji from Persona 4 did a fusion, they make Ryuji.
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, you're
even down to character design. I was just like, this guy's like a combination of Yosuke and Kanji. And I think I felt that with a couple of characters in Persona 5. So they just felt like combination of characters from Persona 4.
Yeah, it's like they really didn't want to deviate too far from Persona 4 with Persona 5. That's kind of one thing I like, and it's the same thing. You guys can break out your shell for the most part. Definitely with Persona 6, they gotta go in a new direction. Yeah,
with Persona 6, I'm hoping they take more risks. Because like between 3, 4, and 5, a lot of it feels like, evolution and refinement, but not like trying anything too drastic.
Like I was saying on my stream, I wish Persona 6 actually goes to like a college setting or something like that.
That would be cool.
I would love that. That would be great.
You're like in your dorm. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be a lot better. But
I think that would also be interesting with the whole schedule system. Like because if you're in college, college students have a more like a customizable schedule.
Yeah. You take certain classes, and then you're pretty much free throughout the day if you don't have any classes that day.
I think if they. So I think if the next game is in college, they can put that into consideration as well, and maybe give the player more control over how their day turns out. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Hey, Atlas, hire us.
Hey, Atlas, we're the pros here.
Hey, Atlas, get started on Persona 6 now, so it doesn't come out at the beginning of the PlayStation 6 era.
Took forever for Persona 5.
I know, it took so long.
It was so good.
Like just real quick with Persona 5, it's shipped. The sales top 2 million units, so that's always great.
That's good.
Let's get it up to 6 million.
Is that that's still your game of the year of this year, right, Shadow?
For right now, but in a couple of weeks, I don't know. Maybe Xenoblade Chronicles 2 can do it.
No, probably not.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, probably not. Because Xenoblade Chronicles 2's frame rate is kind of killing me right now.
Honestly, from what I've been seeing people say about it, is that it's like okay, it's like not amazing.
Yeah.
That's okay, but it's again not amazing.
Yeah.
Wait, which game?
Xenoblade 2.
Xenoblade
Chronicles 2.
I've heard mixed things. Like people are either like loving the game or hating it. Like I don't know. I've heard all kinds of opinions on the game.
Okay, so I guess we could talk about Xenoblade Chronicles 2 right about now. Let's get into it right now. I'm enjoying the game somewhat, but the graphics and again the frame rate is kind of iffy. Especially the graphics undocked. The graphics, they look like they took a hit majorly. I don't know. Like I'm a graphical person. I love my graphics in games. I love a smooth frame rate. When you go below 30, you have a problem.
I actually haven't noticed any frame issues on my part.
I know some frame issues.
Well, to be fair, I mean, it's not like it's an action game. I mean, the frame rate's not that integral to how you play the game.
It's kind of an action game.
No, it's not. You auto attack, dude.
Yeah, but you're still like inputting.
You're not dodging. You're not blocking. You're not parrying.
Yeah, you have MMO gameplay, bro.
Yeah, it's not an action game. It's not even close. Don't even.
Okay,
but we can definitely say that besides the character models, there is a definite problem with the graphics, and it really looks not good in the background areas.
Yeah.
Well, it looks blurry.
Let's say that the assets they used are a bit outdated since the early PS3 era.
Yeah, sometimes the graphics, you can tell that the graphics aren't really up to snuff, and then you're reminded that you're on the weakest console when it comes to, the current generation at some points.
Not only that, but the game looked like, because I've seen this guy stream it, and the game looks fucking huge. Like, all the areas are fucking enormous. So I can imagine that part of the reason why the game may not look that good is probably because they're straining the Switch to its limit with how fucking huge everything is.
It wouldn't be a problem if it was on PS4. I'm just saying.
So I got a question about Monolith. Does Monolith have some sort of exclusive rights with them and Nintendo?
I think so.
They're a second party to Nintendo. They own them.
Yeah, they basically sold their soul. Poor fuckers. Never make deals with the devil, I can tell you. It's not a good idea.
Yeah, exactly.
Is this a deal?
They didn't listen to Cuphead.
Is this a deal to the end, or is this like a really long timed deal?
No, that's permanent, my friend. If Nintendo wants something and they want it really hard, they will never let go of it. And they will never let go. So if you want to play it, you have to bite the bullet. And
Actually,
buy
I think they would let go if the company stop making money.
Yeah,
no.
They would never give up the rights to it.
They would probably just leave.
Actually, I would say they wouldn't, because the director Takahashi straight up said that Nintendo finally gave him the freedom to make the games he wanted, because Xenogears and Xenosaga had issues behind the scene with the higher ups. Because Xenosaga was supposed to be 5 parts, but was cut down to 3. Xenogears was supposed to be a 5-part series as well, but was of course just one game.
I want to make a point here. I think
was the game he always wanted.
I want to make a point here. I think it's unreasonable to think that you need 5 games to complete a story. If you need 5 games to tell a story, you fail. You just fail, bro. If it develops to a 5-part story over years, that's okay. But if you plan out 5 games already, you are just being a dick.
I would say it depends on the publisher trying to stretch it out.
Yeah, and I did.
Well, I think Nightmare's just talking about a general story anyway that you got.
Yeah, it's kind of a.
That's a little bit much.
That's much, and considering it's Square Enix we're talking here,
or overarching plot.
I mean, even overarching is a bit heavy for 5 games,
Well, Xenosaga was going to be one plot. Xenogears was different times.
Yeah. So, but still, the problem is if Square Enix says to you, "We don't want to publish 5 of your games, but we take 3," then you should take that, because Square Enix are the people who drag out shit way too long. Just look at what they did with Final Fantasy 13. They made 3 games that only together come to as a complete whole, and even then you have hours and hours of shit that you don't need. Just cut out the slag and you get a decent game. It's just that everything in between is missing. It's a 3-part story that they dragged out into 3 games. You see, that's not a good idea to do.
Yeah. They were just trying to make their money back from all the production they put into Final Fantasy 13, the first one. So that's why they made a couple more games.
But come on, dragging out the shit is their thing. I mean, come on, how much do they really look at Final Fantasy VII Remake? They want to make it into an serialization game, like episodic, and I'm like, Really? That's what you want to do? You want to drag this shit out even more? I think cancel the shit and do something new.
They can't cancel it by now.
I know by now it's of course impossible, but
it's impossible.
Come on,
they're gonna get destroyed.
Come on.
For Xenoblade, a lot of people are going in on the character designs. That some of the blade designs and especially Pyra, I guess, are designed a little bit too. What's the words I'm looking for here? Unrealistic, I guess.
Risque.
Yeah, risque. I guess. I don't think Pyra looks that bad. This one recently that has come up on Twitter that I've seen. Now I'm putting it up on screen so everybody can see. If I remember
about Xenoblade 1 and 2. Are those stories connected or no?
No.
Okay. I wouldn't know. It's an accent.
All right, so you got this chick right here.
Yeah.
She's one of the blades. And
I don't know. I mean, here's the thing. Realistic is not important, but proportions are important. And I don't know. Some of the proportions here just don't seem to connect with me.
Why are you caring about proportions? No,
I don't know.
Why do you care about proportions?
Okay. Wait.
Her body though.
Suspension of the
letter L.
Let me explain that. Okay, so
I
know what you mean. So it's not that she's not sizable. What we see here is okay from the size. It's just from a proportion amount. It's not really well balanced. That's what I'm saying.
Look at her stomach. It's like shaped like the letter L.
Yeah, it's kind of like what did they do? It's like
her butt. It was like her spine looks like she's got like an arch. Yeah, it's weird.
It's like no, that's the problem here. The problem is not that she's busty or that she has a big ass or something like that. It's just that she's shaped wrong. It's like
her body is contorting into unnatural ways.
It's like
why do you care about what's natural or not in a game that has you swimming in clouds? Why does that matter to you?
Just because it looks weird. I look at her and I'm like, that just looks fucking weird.
What would you do if you saw that walking down the street towards you?
I'm like, God damn.
No one has mentioned how big her tits is.
No
one has mentioned
that's all okay.
That's because
her complexion.
Yeah, we don't care.
We are talking about her spine.
No, spines are important.
It looks like it's made out of spaghetti.
That's all we're talking about.
She's a wet noodle.
We think as a character design, especially for a video game with a lot of anime related stuff, she's fine. Sexy. Yeah, sure. We're just wondering what is up with her spine. That's all.
see, humans are naturally. See, the spine is one of the most important parts of a human body, and if it's basically contorted like this, you feel like the character must be in constant pain, and that's like no. Your brain is like saying no, something is wrong here. Girl, get a chiropractician.
I got a question about this character. She's sort of like a half animal because I see some claws on her.
She's a blade who can be pretty much anything. Animals, humans, half animals.
Okay, so that kind of explains something. Yeah,
I would give her.
She's not even a major character. Kind of He's a random one you can get out of a core.
Okay, I'm gonna call you out, Shadow. If she didn't have huge tits, you wouldn't be defending this design.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, you know what? Maybe. Okay, maybe. Right? Maybe. But I still don't see why people are going so crazy. Not even just her, but on Pyra's design. What's so bad about Pyra?
I have no problem with Pyra. It's okay. I mean,
a picture of Pyra for me because I don't know.
But did you see what Nintendo did? Is like in one part it shows her tits and they fade out her face so you can actually see more of her boobs.
There's actually a lot of scenes like that.
My only real beef with Pyra is that her design looks like especially her face, she looks like she's supposed to be very cute, but the rest of her body is extremely sexualized. So there's this, it really conflicts. It doesn't look.
Pyra's the pink one, right?
Mesh.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a picture real quick of her.
I think I know.
But so I actually have seen this in real life. Cute girls with bodies that you're like, wow, that's kind of wrong, but it can happen in real life. It's not impossible.
Yeah, sure.
But
no, I don't think anyone's saying that Hera is like impossible in real life.
No,
I'm just saying, like, from just a purely design aesthetic point of view, she has a super cute face and a super sexualized body, and as a result,
it feels kind of weird. It's like two people had the say in that. It's like, yeah, I designed the face and you designed the body, and like that doesn't seem to be right. But okay,
Yeah, exactly.
well, we do it anyway because it's unique, it's memorable. Why not? We're kind of weirdos.
Yeah.
So wait, if Pyra was covered up, you guys wouldn't have a problem with this?
From a women's point of view.
Okay, yeah, go ahead, Gab.
From a girl's point of view, I think I like her character because I like when I'm playing as something cute, but I'm still like destroying everything. And it doesn't bother me that she's like revealing at all.
Okay, good. See, that's the point.
No. We never talked about that she has not enough clothing. I think the amount of clothing here is accurate and decent, and I have seen way worse. Don't forget, I'm a regular Terra player. I know what's kind of worse,
Okay. So it's not that she's not covered up. What, are her boobs too big?
They're saying that her face and her body don't really match up. Like, she has the face of like a 12-year-old, but a body of like a 21-year-old.
That's closer to what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Like, the face and the body just don't match. Like, if she had a different face, like the bunny girl's face, then not exactly, but like an equivalent.
A face of a woman.
Like, imagine her face on Pyra's body, like,
that
or something, or
but it just
something equivalent to that. Like, then the design would make a lot more sense.
I mean, I think it's just over exaggeration of all types of things.
Yeah.
Japanese people love them some little girls. So
okay, maybe that was the problem. Maybe it was a Nintendo decision. It was like
needed too,
It's like maybe there was like, yeah, we want to have a lowly heroine, and they're like, yeah, that can be kind of a problem. Can you change that?
The thing is, there's already a character like that. There's a cat girl named Nia. So, like, she's basically the lowly of the group, kind of.
So, apparently that character you guys are talking about, the, like, white-haired blue one, was designed by a woman, so...
Yeah, she was.
Yes.
I mean,
that's crazy.
Interesting.
I don't think that's crazy. I think it's okay.
No, yeah, I mean,
I tell you, women are the bigger perverts.
Also,
yeah, we kind of
Bayonetta was...
Bayonetta
was designed by a woman.
Wasn't Bayonetta designed by a woman also? Yeah.
Bayonetta's like one of the most sexualized characters I've ever seen. She was designed by a woman. There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, but still to my point, you shouldn't really be worrying about the character's proportions when you're playing a fantasy game. Like, who really cares? Like, why is it such a big deal to people?
Why is the main character so boring and ugly?
Ouch.
That's another thing. People don't like how Rex looks. And I'm like,
he's ugly. I want to play as a cute girl.
No, well, here's the thing. You can, like, because you don't have to play as Rex.
Pyra instead.
You don't have to play as Rex. You can switch who you play as in the game.
Well, I don't think you can switch to Pyra anyway.
I don't know if you can switch to Pyra, but like you're not locked with Rex. Like you can
look
switch
at that titty shot.
Look at that ass shot. Damn, she thick.
I mean, I don't see the problem. I don't see the problem with that. And I don't know. It's like most of the people that are playing this game wouldn't have a problem with a character design like Pyra. But then
again, I say I'm fine with it.
Come in and just says, "Oh, she's too busty. She's really
no. That's not no, Shadow. That are not the casuals. That are these idiots that would never touch a game in the first place like this. Yeah. They're just like bitching about the shit. Don't give a fuck about that.
No, like their complaints don't matter because they don't even play these games. Fuck those people.
But their voices be heard. That's the problem.
That's always. You cry the loudest and everybody hears you. You have to be reasonable. The media will listen to them, but the media is dumb as shit. So
exactly, the media lashes onto it. They don't even play games for the most part. Like you got CNN or something like that, or NBC freaking going on it. Then that's going to create a problem for people that are actually playing the game.
But that's the reason why I think Nintendo does it right, because they had thought about it this so long and so hard, and like, you know what? We're not caring for these. These people don't care for us. We don't care for them. You know, Nintendo was always a little bit isolated, and now they decided to do, well, we're doing what we want, and now we're doing this. Okay, so deal with it because it's Nintendo. Deal with it. Okay, so that's balls. I like that. I like that attitude.
Well, in order to survive, Nintendo had to do some different things because after the Wii U,
I want to make it clear because some people are complaining that like the designs in Xenoblade are like sexist or whatever. Those people are stupid. That's not the problem with the designs. They're not misogynistic. They're not sexist. That's fucking stupid. Okay, I have a problem with designs from a design standpoint. I just think they look stupid. That's my problem.
So if you were reviewing Xenoblade Chronicles 2, you would hold the designs against it.
No,
you
I don't. Because at most I find that to be a nitpick unless it's like really, really distracting.
So what if that blue girl, she was a main character and you saw her like all the time?
I would classify that still as like more of a nitpick because at the end of the day, what's more important is like the story and the gameplay. Now, I will posit this though, like when I was playing Tales of Berseria, Velvet's design started to bug me after a while because there would be cutscenes where her cleavage is showing, like her fucking boobs are out, and they're trying to have like these really gritty emotional scenes, and it didn't work. But I was able to change her costume, and it wasn't an issue. So like, it's you got to take every case as they come, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess it's not one.
So
I think what I'm saying is reasonable. I don't think I'm
yeah. I think I mean, come on. I have my problems not with the way Velvet looks. It's more like how she acquires this outfit. It's like you build that out of that, and I'm like, what?
Well, it's also like she doesn't even care. So that's that.
Yes, I know. It's not. It's not
really
that.
does.
It's just. I just have a logical problem here. It's not a bad thing, you know. Do whatever you want. It's a good design. Nothing wrong with that. It's just like, how do you acquire that? What's that? I like to play the what are you wearing kind of game, you know? What are you actually wearing?
In a chest, and she was just like, "Fuck it, I'll just slap on whatever." It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, that's basically how it is, and I didn't really care about it. I mean, definitely it's revealing for the most part. Don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't exactly call it bad design.
I mean, there must be a lot of belts laying around.
Yeah.
There must have been a lot of belts laying around. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, and there's a mod on PC that will allow you to fix her outfit technically, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I just gave her a different costume, and that's it, you know. And again, this isn't really like a sexism issue or anything stupid like that. Like, it just has to do. If a male character was running around half naked in a Speedo, it would be the same fucking problem. It's not a matter of, oh, this is a female character being sexualized. It's more of an issue of it's harder to take what's going on seriously because I'm looking at something that's kind of ridiculous.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. I guess I kind of see your point there. Okay, so sometimes when Pyra is on screen and I'm playing Xenoblade Chronicles 2, I'm just like, I'm kind of distracted. I'm like completely, I'm just focusing on her the whole time, like completely. Like I ain't looking at nobody else. I'm kind of not even trying to pay attention to the story. So yeah, it kind of is distracting in Pyra's case, I guess.
Do you think they did that because they feel that their story can't hold up without it?
No.
I mean, I definitely think they did it to get people interested in the game, to get people looking.
Oh, pull them in with the titties, keep them
exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's why she's designed the way she is. Wait, Bio, I didn't get your opinion on the whole character design thing.
Could not care less. Not an issue.
Okay.
He has a girlfriend. He has no opinion on other girls.
A question about the Xeno series. So you're liking Xenoblade Chronicles 2 a lot, Shadow?
I'm enjoying it so far.
So far?
Yeah, so far. Don't really have much complaints yet.
So, like I said, I'm still debating on if I want to get your Switch or not. I'm trying to build up that list to ultimately make my decision. And I think Daniel mentioned the Xenoblade series. I am interested in the Xenoblade series. I remember a while ago, one of my friends was staying by me, and he was playing Xenoblade Chronicles X. He didn't play Xenoblade Chronicles 1. So he loved Xenoblade Chronicles X. and he told me to play it. And this was during the time where I wasn't really into JRPGs yet, as I am now. So when I played it, playing this whole, I guess, MMO type of gameplay, I wasn't really down for that. But getting into JRPGs, turn-based in particular, I really, really, really want to play. I'm really looking forward to playing Xenogears on the PS1. It's PS1 Classic on my Vita.
Yeah, definitely. That one's going to be good.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. Love me some mechs, giant Gundam fan. You're probably not going to find a bigger one than me. So
I doubt that. We have
We'll talk about that later. Try me.
You can fight that out another time, but
so wait, no other games from the Switch honestly catch your eye except for Xenoblade and Project Octopath?
So Xenoblade, like I said, I'm not really sold on the Xenoblade series yet.
Okay.
Well, I think after I'm done with Xenogears, we'll see where it stands. Like I said, I wasn't really a fan of. I'm not really a fan still to today. I'm not really a fan of MMO RPG type gameplay. Sit there, watch your character swing. Here's your hotkeys. I'm not really a fan of that.
Well, I wouldn't compare Xenogears to the Xenoblade series at all because they're
I was just talking about as far as character designs and having mechs. That's all I was comparing it to.
Okay.
Yeah, but as far as I know, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 doesn't even have mechs. At least not as far as I. Oh, it has. Well,
they're not playable, but they're in the game.
Really?
Well, that's.
I don't know about that.
I would not put that on the plus side,
Yeah, because if there's one when my friend had me play Xenoblade Chronicles X, and he was telling me that because he knows I love Gundam, so he was trying to get me into it, and he's like, well, eventually you're gonna get yourself a mech, and you can turn it into a car, you can fly around the sky, and I was like, oh, that sounds cool. But
that's cool. Yeah.
When I heard how long you gotta play to get to that point, it was like I was like,
yeah, it takes a while to honestly get to those mechs, and
I'm sure it's worth it when you get there.
Yeah, when you get it, it's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm just like, as far as just Octopath, and the thing is, I haven't purchased a Nintendo console since Super Nintendo.
Damn.
Yeah.
Not even a
GameCube? Not even.
So here's the thing. So the GameCube, right? I'm a big Sonic fan, right? So my first console was a Super Nintendo, and that wasn't even mine. That was my uncle's. He was actually getting out of video games, and he was like, "Oh, I guess I'll give it to my nephew." So he gave me a Super Nintendo. Had the Super Nintendo. Only really played Mario on it, and then I went from Super Nintendo to Dreamcast. My mom bought me a Dreamcast. Didn't even have a Genesis. So I went from Dreamcast, played Sonic Adventure, fucking loved it. Sonic Adventure 2, loved it. And then Sonic Adventure 2 Battle came out on the GameCube. I'm like, ooh, wherever Sonic goes, I'm going to go. So I want a GameCube. Dad came over, I got you a console. I'm like, is it a GameCube? Here's a PS2. I'm like, what the fuck did you do? No!
I mean, it was cheaper and more available, so...
That's a good console, so I'm sure you enjoyed the PS2.
Oh, yeah. Here's the thing. So when I got that PS2, I didn't even play it for like the first month I had it. I was just staring at it. I want to play Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, damn it.
Okay, yeah, I
Sonic on the PS2. But I got my games on the PS2, the Zone of the Enders, I got really into Dynasty Wars around that time. And, God of War, a bunch of PS2 games. So I eventually loved me some PS2, So I stayed with PlayStation. But I never ended up getting a GameCube. I was still probably to this day, I'm a one console guy. I have one console per generation. I just focus on what's there, and I never really.
So wait a minute. Are you still a big Sonic fan?
We'll get to that.
I was gonna say, did you play Sonic Forces? I'm like,
we'll get to that. With my PS2 played, when Sega went multi-platform, Sonic's on everything now. I played Sonic Heroes, enjoyed it. Played Shadow to a degree. I enjoyed it. Then Sonic Riders. I love Sonic Riders. In my opinion, that's my favorite.
Wait, Riders, is that the one with the Kinect?
That's the one.
No. That's the one before.
Yeah, that's the one that's before they made the series trash. I played the first Sonic Riders. Fucking loved it. I never got my hands on Sonic Riders Zero Gravity, and then Sonic Free Riders on the Xbox. That's the one you're talking about. I was like, oh god, that's.
Oh yeah, Sonic Free Riders, the game, but puking is mandatory.
Yeah, they killed it. And after that, that's kind of when I fell off of Sonic. Like Sonic 2006 for the PS2. I'm like, oh, this game looks awesome, but it was trash. It was trash.
2006, yeah, that was.
And then I was just like, all right, you know what? it's time to put Sonic down, you know. So that's
man, a Sonic fan that actually knows when to call it quits. Thank you. You don't see that
before you get into original the character, you know.
Yeah, so I would consider myself, I'm one of those Sonic Adventure fans. So I didn't get into Sonic, you know, Sonic 1, 2, and 3. I played them when they came on PS3, you know, the classic remake. Well, not remake, the ports. I played them, liked it, but I'm like, I'm a Sonic Adventure fan. So Sega, if you want my money, you need to make Sonic Adventure 3, which you're probably too pussy to make it. So here's Sonic Forces. They're too pussy to make Sonic Adventure 3, bro. Like, fucking hell. But, you know, Sonic Forces, I was like, yeah, you're cool, but I'm not going to play you because this new generation of Sonic, it's fucking Temple Run. It's Temple Run. And I don't like to run in a straight line and straight left and right and here's some mediocre 2D Sonic gameplay. That's how I feel about every Sonic game from, like, Secret of the Rings to now. They're all fucking Temple Run, you know? So when I saw Sonic Forces, I was like, look. Oh, it's Temple Run. The villain is cool. I was like, I'm interested in the story, and I just looked at the whole story up on YouTube, and I'm like, yeah, I'm fine with that, but I can't. I don't want to get for Sonic Forces or anything that's not Sonic Adventure 3.
Okay.
All right, so real quick, let's get into a general discussion. Should websites, you know, gaming websites, be reviewing a game? Like, should a person be reviewing a game if they didn't like the series? Because on Kotaku, Jason Schreider, he reviewed Xenoblade Chronicles 2. He didn't like the game. He didn't like, I believe he didn't like Chronicles 1. He skipped over Xenoblade Chronicles X, but yet he reviewed Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Yeah, in the first paragraph, he says, I didn't like Xenoblade 1. So a lot of people were giving him crap for that.
So, like, why would you be reviewing the next game though? Like, you shouldn't be
because
reviewing.
It's his fucking job, you know. He's paid for it.
But I just because he didn't like the other game, why does that mean that he's not allowed his opinion to the second game?
That's okay.
Because that's like saying, oh, I don't like I don't like Call of Duty 1 or Call of Duty 4, but I'm gonna play the latest Call of Duty game and call it shit.
Here's the thing, Shadow.
That's his opinion. He's allowed to.
Here's the thing, Shadow. I think it's fair for him to review it, but I think what he did was right as far as letting people know that he did not like the previous one. Now, if he came out with that review and said it didn't say that and just shitted on it and didn't give us any, you know, well, I didn't really like the first one. I'm not really into JRPGs. Or if he didn't say anything along those lines and he just came out with it, then I would say you have a case. But
and you know, I've heard a lot of people say that he doesn't like JRPGs. Is there actually any proof of that? Because that's just something. So if you don't like JRPGs,
he's one of like he's pretty much Kotaku's JRPG guy.
Is he?
Like he loves Xenogears, other RPGs like Trails of Cold Steel. He just didn't like Xenoblade Chronicles 1.
That's weird. Then why do I keep hearing this thing about he doesn't like RPGs?
That's a lie.
He wrote the book Blood, Sweat, and Pixels.
I want to read that book.
Which is basically goes into the development of like tons of like 10 different games, and he goes through a bunch of interviews that he did with all of the developers of like different games. Half of the games in that book are Western RPGs. Yep. So I mean, granted, they're not Japanese RPGs, but he admits in the book, because I fucking read it, that the reason why so many games in the book are RPGs is because he likes RPGs.
Okay.
People just saying, "Oh, you don't like it because you don't like how they are looking or how they're feeling." You know, it's just things. You know, it's like telling yo, people hate everything. I hear people talk about me and saying, "Are there any games that you like?" Yes, I like a lot of games. I might be a lot of negative, but I like a lot of games.
Another thing people are getting upset with him about in the review, he says that he wanted the game to be more in line with Xenogears, but of course it was like Xenoblade Chronicles 1, which he already didn't like. So a lot of people are like, well, why would you expect to be like Xenogears when it's obviously Xenoblade Chronicles 2?
Maybe because one of the Xenogears characters returns for this game, even though it's just this bit of fan service, you know?
Yeah, but still,
Saga, but whatever.
But still, if I don't like Dark Souls, I don't like Dark Souls at all. Then I play the other series. Should I really be the one reviewing Dark Souls, the new Dark Souls game that comes out?
Let me answer this question real quick. I don't believe you should be reviewing it, especially like your example. If you don't like Souls games and then you hop into one to review it for your site, and then you say, oh, it's trash.
Exactly, yeah.
I don't even like these games anyway, and then you just throw it out there, then your first thought should be, well, there's probably not anyone that wanted to review it, and he just went ahead and took it up to himself.
Yeah.
To put it out there for the site, because I've been a part of a site that reviewed stuff, and I did some reviews for stuff that I personally didn't like. Example, Way of the Samurai 4. Never played a Way of the Samurai game, and I didn't like Way of the Samurai 4. But the point is, the site needs someone to review that game, and if everybody in a part of your site doesn't like the game, and you just got a review copy, somebody's got to do it. So you just have to, take your own opinion.
Yeah, I understand that point, but he shouldn't have been the guy. But
what I'm saying is, if he wasn't the guy and no one there wants to review it, who would review it?
And you need it. You need it to get your advertisers to do it. You wanna have something about that. So I know it's not the best way, but that's how it sometimes goes. And
here's the thing that bothers me. All I've ever seen is people point out this, like, oh, he didn't like the previous games. What is he doing reviewing this? And blah, blah, blah. But and making up this lie that he doesn't even like RPGs. Mm-hmm. What I don't see is people actually pointing out what is wrong with his arguments.
I actually don't have a problem with his arguments. I mean, I gotta play the game a little bit more, but I just don't agree that he should be the one to review. If you didn't like the other games,
but if he didn't, just because he didn't like the other games, that shouldn't validate his opinion. Yeah, I mean, my friend Forslock doesn't like Dark Souls, but he liked Bloodborne. Sometimes that happens.
Yeah,
that's true.
Well, the claim is people saying that because he didn't like it, his review was biased, which of course it really isn't, but that's the problem people are seeing.
I mean, if the game sometimes it actually helps. Be able to sometimes.
I don't even like Kotaku. I don't feel good defending. I just do it in the interest of fairness, because I feel like everyone's dogpiling on this guy when I feel like it's kind of unfair. Does he really deserve all of this shit just because he didn't like this game that much?
I would say
no. He doesn't.
I would say I kind of commend him for giving that series another shot, since he actually didn't like the previous one. He's giving the series a chance to redeem itself. So he may be coming in there with a little bit of negative biasm from the previous game that left a bad taste in his mouth. But other than that, he's giving the game the opportunity to change his opinion on the franchise as a whole. And unfortunately it didn't, Instead of
that happens,
Some people are out there. I was actually watching someone on YouTube. I can't remember her name, but she played Trails of Cold Steel 1. And she said she will not play Trails of Cold Steel 2 because Trails of Cold Steel 1, she felt the pacing was bad and she didn't like the whole school aspect. And Trails of Cold Steel 2 is nothing like 1. But point is, she's not even going to give the second one a chance because of how, bad in her opinion the first game was.
Well, is she wrong for not giving the second game a chance? If she didn't like the first game, she shouldn't be penalized for.
No, but that's the thing. What if I came to you and I said, I'm not going to play Devil May Cry 3 because Devil May Cry 2 sucked? How would you look at me?
Oh, man.
I would definitely say for you to give this one a chance, go right ahead, because
that's a good
point. That's a different point. But I don't blame you for not doing it. Like Devil May Cry 2 burned you.
Yeah. All I'm saying is that to a degree, I commend him for at least giving the franchise a second opportunity to, do the wrongs in his opinion. But should he, if there was someone who is more into the Xenoblade series, I would say give it to that person instead of him. But as far as what we know, there isn't, So he's the guy that they had to go to, and he was like, all right, I'm gonna give this game a second chance. That's the way I see it. And unless you can name someone a part of Kotaku that played Xenoblade 1 a lot, liked it, because the people who critique stuff the most are the people that like a franchise. I critique the fuck out of anything I like. So if there was someone at Kotaku that liked Xenoblade 1 and probably liked Xenoblade Chronicles X a lot, and he was there to review Xenoblade Chronicles 2, then I would say give it to him. But it seems like that person doesn't exist for their site,
Okay,
Well,
so
I mean, it's Kotaku. I mean,
Yeah, it's Kotaku.
My friend calls them Kotak shit. All they do is talk shit.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah, they do. They're a fucking terrible website. They're fucking awful.
so you like Jason Schreier, but you don't like Kotaku.
No, I don't give a fuck about Jason Schreier. I
So
just
I
don't
can
like
read his
that.
book.
I only read that book because it had industry insight on the developments of multiple games, and I found that interesting. I didn't read it because it was Jason Schreier.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Also, it's sometimes useful to actually watch an opinion, even if you don't actually agree with it, just to see what the people think about it. It's helpful, you know? Sometimes you have to go out there, even if you don't really enjoy that. Because exposure is important.
I thought
that book went in.
experiences.
That book went into the development of Destiny, of Dragon Age Inquisition, Stardew Valley, Pillars of Eternity, like Halo Wars, the canceled Star Wars 1313. Like, it went into the development of like a bunch of different games, and it was really interesting. Uncharted 4, like, it even talked about the development of that game, which is really surprising. That's why I found it interesting. Jason Schreier himself, he doesn't. I didn't really feel like I was reading a book by this guy. Rather,
okay, that's why I thought. I thought it was about him. Okay.
No, I read it simply because I wanted to hear the stories of all these different people, working on these games. It gave a voice to these developers, because really, for the most part, it feels like a lot of developers don't come out of their shell and they don't tell us anything about the stuff that they went through when they made these games. And this book shone a light on that, and it gave these people a voice. And that's why I liked it, and I would recommend people give it a shot. It's a good book. But no, it had nothing to do. Like, he just so happened to be the person that put all of this together. It could have
been anybody.
Exactly. Like, I only specifically checked it out for that reason, and not because of him.
So here's a good example for you, Shadow, to conclude it if anybody else doesn't have anything to say about that. If, let's say, everyone in here was a part of a reviewing site, right? And the game that came in for review is Destiny 2. Do you think any of us here would, be excited to play Destiny 2?
Well, we shouldn't be putting the review on the site anyway.
No, but Bungie. No. Bungie gave our site a review copy, and they want a review from us. I'm saying,
okay.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. That happened. Like I said, I've been a part of a site, and that has happened where a game came in. All of the reviewers are like, I don't want to play this. I don't want to play this. I don't want to play it. And I'm like, fuck, I'll review it. All right, So we don't know what happens in the back.
That's like from a business standpoint for the most part.
Yeah, but
I think we're all in agreement that somebody that doesn't like a series shouldn't be reviewing the series.
And what I'm saying is that sometimes you don't have a choice.
But sometimes that, like, yeah. I don't really agree with, like, if you don't like the series, you shouldn't review it, because sometimes they'll find a game in a series that they end up liking, or maybe they'll have like really interesting criticism and insight as to what might be wrong with these games that the fanboys are blind to. Like, I don't really see why, just because you may not be a fan of the series, you shouldn't be allowed to review it.
I don't think you shouldn't be allowed to, but I do agree with you as far as someone who doesn't like a series can critique it in a way that people that love it are probably blind to what might be actually flawed about a specific series. But like I said, you can also say the same thing about someone who actually really loves a series and just wants to see it, do good. So when
you have the opposite problem where someone is too big of a fan of the series, they don't see anything wrong.
No. I'm not talking about that person. That's definitely another third person in there. So the first type of person you mentioned was the person that didn't like the game, went in there and critique it in a way that people who like it can't see. The second version you name is the person that loves the game so much they can't see any flaws. But the version I'm talking about is the person that goes in there, likes a game, likes it so much that they will critique it, if they do see flaws, because they only want to see good things from this series, and they'll critique it, critique the actual bad things about a series that they do like.
I think that is probably the best person.
Yeah, exactly.
To review a series.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Most of the time, these sites don't have that person. That's what I'm saying.
But at the same time, I think there is value in someone that doesn't like a series.
That is true.
I think there's value in that.
Yeah, Yeah, I agree with that. But I would say the best person to review it is that person right there, the person that likes.
I would agree.
And wants to see, wants to see it succeed. And if they do have a problem, they are honest enough to say that this is a problem. I hate the fact that it's in there. I love the series and I want to see it do better.
No,
Those
yeah,
are the best
exactly.
people, but those people are
so
really rare to find.
That's like the best case scenario right there.
Yeah, that's the best case scenario. And what I'm saying is that Kotaku didn't have someone for Xenoblade Chronicles 2 for that, because I'm sure they're out there. But
and hey, if it happens that you don't like a game but still want to put out a review, at least make sure that you get the game a fair shot. Give it a fair shot and be reasonable. That's important.
I commend this guy for giving the game giving the franchise a second chance when it burned him. Because I think I was talking to you, Daniel, a couple of days ago on Twitter about Stranger Things. Mm-hmm. And I said that I will not watch Stranger Things season 2 because I did not like Stranger Things season 1. This is before Here's the thing. This is before I saw that girl on YouTube that said she will not play Trails of Cold Steel 2 because she did not like Trails of Cold Steel 1. And I was like, shit, I'm just like her.
Are you talking about Fem Trooper?
Yeah, there we go. That's the girl, Fem Trooper.
Yeah, she's awesome. I love her.
So I was just I like all of the other stuff that she does. She's big Vita player and all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, I like this girl. And then I saw it, I was like, oh god, I don't think I like you anymore. No, I'm just
don't say that.
No. Sorry, like I said, Trails of Cold Steel 2 is my favorite JRPG. So when I hear someone that doesn't want to play because of one, it kind of irks me really badly. But the point is, what I'm saying is that I will actually watch Stranger Things season 2 now because of what I experienced there. I'm like, damn, I don't want to be that person that won't give a franchise a second chance because I didn't like the first one.
So you always have to give something a chance. Like something can't just be so bad that you can never. You always gotta give the second game or the sequel, the prequel, a shot.
A franchise overall, not just video games. I was just saying that for.
I'll watch. But I don't think you can really blame her though. I mean, if she played through and completed that game, the first game, and didn't like it, I don't think it's
but I
bad or unreasonable for her to not want to play.
She actually made a video about it.
Yeah, I know, and I watched it. What I'm saying is that her problems with the first one, they are nowhere to be found. She said she didn't like the fact that the pacing was slow, school setting, and all this other stuff. And she was comparing it to Persona, same thing, school setting. This is stuff she didn't really like that in Persona either. But if you play Trails of Cold Steel 2, you know that they're not even in a school setting. And she said she wanted. She said when she wanted to play Trails of Cold Steel, she was looking for an adventure, exploring, and all that stuff. That is Trails of Cold Steel 2. You're on an adventure. You're out exploring all of this stuff. But she is not going to see that because she won't play it. That's what I'm saying. Her problems with it aren't in 2. So I was just like, shit.
But can you blame her if you didn't play Cold Steel 2? Could you blame her for not wanting to play it? Because you know how great Cold Steel 2 is, but if you didn't play it, would you blame her for not wanting to play it after that?
Like I said, beforehand, I wouldn't blame her. But after I realized what I did to Stranger Things, like I said, I would say you have to. I'm more inclined to giving something a second chance now these days.
Okay.
I still think you're nuts for shitting on Stranger Things 1. That's a great.
Sorry, man. That's so damn predictable. It was so predictable. Like I said,
that's such a lame excuse. That's such a lame excuse. That's not what the show is about. It's about the chemistry between the characters, the friendship between the kids, and how they interact with each other.
I thought the whole execution of all of that,
I need a gong. Because we're not moving forward, we're just moving backwards.
I'm moving forward because I said I will give the series another chance, and I'm going to watch.
That's not what I meant.
Oh, okay.
it's like you have hijacked the conversation totally, and the only bad thing about Stranger Things is that I have to deal with the hipsters that now want to play Dungeons and Dragons, and I'm like, you don't want to commit.
Okay, so I like Stranger Things, by the way. That's why I was willing to let it go.
Going all the way back to that guy that we were talking about, like I said,
Jason actually have said anything about it. I think there's nothing left to say.
Like I said, I'm just gonna
go ahead. Finish your thoughts, bro.
I'm just gonna commend him for giving that series that he didn't like a second chance. That's all I'm gonna leave it to.
Good.
And Nightmare trying to get things moving along. Nightmare ain't playing here.
It's like I have to do that. Co-host, you know. Sometimes I have to put my finger down and say, we have to move on.
Yeah.
All right. So
like
on the last podcast, we talked about killing one of these franchises, Fire Emblem, Dragon Quest, or Tales of. I ran a poll on Twitter. A lot of people seem to have been in agreement that Dragon Quest needed to go.
And they probably have not played a Dragon Quest game in a long time, and that's the reason why. But okay, their opinion, you know.
Okay.
Hey, my opinion on that, since I wasn't there.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so, like I said, I want to get into Dragon Quest. That's the reason I bought this 3DS in the first place. So I wouldn't kill Dragon Quest. Tales of, here's the thing about Tales of. I have never played a Tales of game. So my first Tales of game, I actually played 2, but I've only, I'm getting into Tales of. But my first one.
Did you play?
Wait, are you going to start with Fantasia?
I'm gonna tell you, because that's what I was going to do if I hadn't played any Tales games before. I was going to start with Fantasia like I did Final Fantasy 1, but I did play a Tales of game, and like I said, I love my Vita. So my first Tales of game was Tales of Hearts R.
Oh no!
You
poor
Here's the
soul.
thing, Shadow. We gonna have some beef here, Shadow, because I heard you on the last podcast, and you're like, "Fuck, Tales of Hearts R." We got some beef.
Okay.
Love that game a lot.
Okay, but in his defense, you have no other game.
Yeah. In my defense, that is my first Tales of game, and as a first Tales of, from a gameplay standpoint, I enjoyed it a lot. Now, from a characterization, meh. Character design, okay. Story, meh. But it was the gameplay that sold me on the entire series.
See, now here's the thing, though, and I get where you're coming from, because if that is your first Tales game, I can understand why you would like the gameplay. But for us who have played most of the Tales games, that combat system is the most vanilla combat system.
Okay, I was gonna say it was garbage. Okay, yeah, it's normal.
It felt like button mashing, essentially.
This is someone coming off of Dynasty Warriors. So getting combos like this, I was actually fairly, I enjoyed it a lot.
When you compare it to the combat in Tales of Xillia 2 and Grace's F especially, it's it's not even close.
Yeah. Like I said, I haven't played the best of the best.
Okay, yeah. Once you play the best of the best, I want you to come back and say,
I definitely.
I have to say, I respect that you're going back to play Fantasia.
Yeah.
But I do have to say, the only officially released version of that game is the GBA version, and that's probably the worst version. So go ahead. The best version that's in English is the PS1 version. So I'm going to recommend that one. You're probably going to have to emulate it. But if that's not a problem with you, then that's the version you should be gunning for, unless one day they patch the PSP version, because that's actually the best version, but that's only in Japanese right now. I think they're working on an English patch for that one as well. But until then, the PS1 version is the version you should play.
Yeah, that's the one I was intending on playing.
Good.
Yeah, so I like Tales of Hearts R gameplay. It's actually in my top 5 favorite video games. I love Tales of Hearts R. So we got some beef, Shadow. But the thing is,
it's not much beef because it's your first Tales of game. So we
about to have some more beef though. We're about to have even more beef now.
Oh no!
Yeah, he's coming.
So much beef.
Let's go. I'm about to get a drop by right now. Let's go.
I might get kicked in all of a sudden. So my second Tales of game. So I was playing Tales of Hearts. I'm like, oh, I fucking love Tales of Hearts. This game is awesome. My friend, same guy. Well, if you love Tales of Hearts R, there's Tales of Zestiria about to come up for PlayStation 4. You should play that.
No,
I was like, let me finish now. So I'm like, okay, I'm getting into Tales of Hearts R. Yeah, we might have to crucify him. I'm not gonna put his name out there because
is that guy lobotomized or just an idiot?
So I was like, all right, you know what? I'm getting into Tales. I really love Tales of Hearts R. So PS4 Tales of Zestiria. Let's hop into this.
Hold on, wait, Tom. Before you go on, he told you to go to Tales of Zestiria. That's the Tales game he told you to go to.
Because it was about to come out. It was about to come out. No one knew how good or bad it was, except for Japan. And he was hyped for it. All my friends that barely play JRPGs, they were hyped for it because they like the hype games up and not play them. But the thing is, the point is, I played Tales of Zestiria. Tales of Zestiria was about to come out for PS4, and I was like, okay, let's play Tales of Zestiria. So I platinum Tales of Zestiria. Can't remember how many hours I put in. I think it was over 150. Played Tales of Zestiria, beat it twice, 250 hours, platinumed it. I didn't think it was bad.
But I did have a problem with the story.
But did I have a problem with the story? Yes. Story, I was not compelled by it, especially when the whole Edna dragon thing. That's when they lost me.
Wait, what was wrong with that?
I just didn't like it. I don't know.
Wait, what? The dragon, her brother?
Yeah, her dragon being a brother, and
you didn't understand what's going on.
I obviously didn't.
Her brother was originally just like her. It's just that the seraphs, those beings, when they're consumed by enough malevolence, they transform into dragons.
That's just fucking stupid to me. So
why? There's nothing wrong with that.
Like I said, in my opinion, that's kind of stupid. You
can't just say something is stupid and then go, "Oh, that's just my opinion." You need a reason.
Turning into a dragon from malevolence when you were a spirit. I know this is fantasy and all of it, but I just didn't think it.
I don't really see why it's a big deal. It's just a fantasy game, so they can make up shit like that. It's not a big deal.
Just like they can make up proportions and whatnot on character designs, but okay.
I agree with you, but yeah, from a gameplay standpoint, also I was not intrigued by that. The whole fusion thing I thought was a cool idea, but when it got to a point where I reached the final boss, and let's say I have 4 characters, right? Rose can fuse with someone, and so can Soray. So I fused both of my characters. I can only use one of those fused characters. So the CPU has to use the next set of fused characters, and the CPU defuses them. That's when we have a fucking problem. Why are you defusing my fused characters? They're shit. These characters individually are shit to play. None of these characters are fun to play individually, and even fused is still kind of not that fun compared to what I previously played Tales of Zestiria.
No,
but you put 250 hours into Tales of Zestiria though.
I put 252 hours into that fucking game.
Why did you do that? That game sucks.
Because I was a platinum whore, So I was just like, I wasn't not enjoying myself. It was barely enough for me to be like, okay, this is okay. So I just continued to play, You
should have played Berseria instead.
I have Berseria on my list. I think they had a sale like 2 months ago, $39.99. I missed it. I'm waiting for
it. That game, story and characters, blows Zestiria out of the fucking water.
Isn't it like kind of connected or something?
Yeah, it's a prequel. It's a prequel, but
about Berseria is the way I want to play it is I want to go back. So
that's fine.
So by the time I get to Berseria, I'll be caught up with all of the Tales of games that I should play, and Berseria will be the last one because, as far as we know, we don't know anything of a Tales of and the next Tales of game.
So, no, we don't have any details.
That's kind of concerning to me. I don't know what the hell is going to come. It's been like almost 2 years since Berseria came out. Almost.
Let them take their time.
Yeah, I'll say take the time. But yeah, the end of that, Tales of Zestiria, thumbs up. Tales of Zestiria, meh. All right. If I played the other ones,
I think it's worse than meh.
Yeah. Like I was saying, if I played the other ones, I'll probably be saying it's shit also. But since I haven't, it's just meh to me.
I haven't. Well, I played a little bit of Berseria, and I still think that Zestiria was terrible.
It was terrible. Okay.
Maybe I'm just forgetting.
Gong, gong, gong. I need to remind you what we actually wanted to talk about. So you wanted to talk about what do you want to kill? So we had Dragon Quest, we had Tales of, so final one, Fire Emblem. Come on.
Since I still want to play Dragon Quest and I still want to play Tales of, as far as I heard from your previous podcast, there's only 3 good Fire Emblem games?
Whoa.
3 or 4?
Whoa.
How many Fire Emblem games are there, first of all?
What? There's
like 15 or 16 at this point.
And how many good ones, in your opinion, are there out of those 15 to 16?
Let's see. 4, 7, 8, 9, 10. Awakening, which would be 13. Fates is arguable, and Shadows of Valentia is good.
So
yeah.
8 out of 16,
more or less.
So about half of the series you would say is trash.
Not
trash.
No. Not trash.
But-
Yeah, apparently of the fan base. But here's the thing. I'm not the best advocate, so don't take my opinion on that. Okay?
Oh, okay.
I played every game in the series except for 2.
I think what you guys were saying on the last one is that from a moving forward standpoint, Fire Emblem isn't doing too well.
It's appealing to casuals basically to sell, in my opinion at least.
Yeah.
What's kind of weird considering how non-streamlined the game is. So they actually want to go for the casuals. They have to streamline a lot of shit out of this to make it more appealing. But
I would get rid of Fire Emblem. Only because I'm really excited to play the best of the Tales series and the best of Dragon Quest. I'm actually really hyped to play through all the Dragon Quest, especially Dragon Quest 8 for some reason.
I think you'll be surprised when you play Fantasia how the first game in the series has so much of a better story than fucking Hearts R and Zestiria.
Yeah, I wasn't too fond of them, so.
Not getting into the same problem again, please.
I'm just throwing that out there.
Moving on.
I know.
New kill one.
I would kill on Fire Emblem.
All
right. So new kill one. Zelda, the Zelda series, the Xeno series, or Tales of.
Why Tales of again?
Because I'm taking the one that's got the least votes.
Oh, okay.
The one that has the least votes is always going to move on.
I'll go first and say Zelda, because I'm not sure this is an unpopular opinion or not, but for me, Zelda peaked at Wind Waker. Twilight Princess, okay. Skyward Sword, okay. Let's not talk about the DS games. And for me personally, Breath of the Wild just not that fun to play.
Interesting.
Personally, me, I would have no choice but to kill off Zelda because I'm not that big of a Zelda fan. But if I had to choose only between Xeno and Tales of, okay, I said before I get rid of Tales of, but here's the thing about Tales of. After every time I'm done with a Tales of game, I'm good. Like I would
agree with that.
I don't need another Tales of game.
I would play 2, but I would agree with that.
Like, I'm good. Like I'm not hankering for the next one. I'm curious to what the next one is. If it doesn't come out, okay, I'm good. But
here's the thing with the Tales games. They have the possibility to be so different in terms of what they have and how good it is compared to the other game that you can't really say you kill it off because you have no idea if the next one will be good or not.
That's true.
Like it could be like Vesperia or it could be a Zestiria. You just don't know.
Yeah.
You're either going to get, great. I think the track record for this series is more great than bad, though. Like,
I agree.
I've never played Xenogears, by the way, so.
I'm sorry, what were you going to say, Gab?
I was going to say, I've never played the Xeno series. Well, much of it. I played Xenoblade on the 3DS, obviously. And I have Chronicles 2 sitting beside me on my desk. But I never played any of the PlayStation games. But I've been wanting to go back because you guys... Well, I think Blandrew, raves about them the most. And I want to go back and play them.
How was
I would choose to kill that series because I am a huge Zelda fan, so...
Okay.
Question, Gab. How was the you said you played the 3DS version of...
It was terrible. I would honestly go and just buy the Wii version. Just don't even bother. It's terrible.
Like they're the same game, but the fact it's on a smaller screen is like...
It's bad, yeah. It's so bad. And the graphics are just downgraded so much. And I feel like, I don't know, when it was bigger, it just had so much more to offer. And when it's small, it's just... Yeah.
Like the graphics weren't even that amazing from the start, so when you put down the 3DS, it just looks even worse.
Yeah, exactly.
Because part of me was like, I don't care if it's a bad worse version. Is it a bad game on the 3DS? That's what I was wondering.
No.
Does it run good or does it run like shit?
It runs okay.
Like the frames are there, but everything is just so squished. It looks because remember, this game has a big UI and a lot of stuff going on, so it's not.
If the Wii version didn't exist, would you have played this game and enjoyed it? Not, knowing that this is the only version of the game.
I would say yes.
Yeah, I would agree.
Is it a good
I didn't
game?
finish it, but like I liked how far I did get. I did get stuck at a boss. I made it pretty far. I just got stuck. That's what happens to me.
That's what I was wondering. Is this a good game if that Wii version didn't exist? Okay.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I think it would run
the
like
story's
crap.
there, but
I
it's
think
just
it would
like
be
not
optimized
fun to
for
play,
Xeno.
particularly.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, guys. All right. So that's a new kill one. We're at 5 o'clock. We're gonna end it here.
Did you ask everybody?
You didn't ask everybody about the kill.
I thought everybody got their opinion.
I don't think Daniel got his opinion on it.
No,
Oh,
I
Shintai,
didn't
go ahead,
say.
Shintai.
I think my answer is going to be obvious, though. I'm probably just going to kill off Xeno because I like Zelda and I like Tails, but I don't care that much about the Xeno games that much. Like, I
Not
haven't
even
played,
Xenogears, Xenosaga. You gotta take those into account too.
I've barely played Xenogears. I played.
Wow, really?
I do want to play it. That's on my docket. That's like on my backlog.
Now everyone has a backlog. That's pretty bad.
I played like half of Xenosaga Part 1, and I thought it sucked.
Mm.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. I know
Oh.
people love Xenosaga,
Okay.
but like,
Okay.
to be fair, I was in high school, and high school version of me is fucking stupid. So I could
Agreed.
Yeah.
So I could very well play Xenosaga now and be like, "Whoa, this is great." You know, high school version of me is fucking dumb. I'm actually replaying .hack GU recently. I used to love that game. I'm playing it now, and I'm like, this is nowhere near as good as I remember it being.
Oh, that's crazy.
Like, I'm playing it now, and I'm like, holy shit, some of this is really fucking dumb. And the combat is like,
I think people were way too hyped for GU. They don't remember how repetitive and button mashy the combat was.
no, yeah, like it's because at the time I wasn't very I didn't like think that hard about game mechanics. I was just like, oh, I like hitting things. I'm playing it now, and I'm like, the combat barely has anything to it. It's so rudimentary. Like, and even though you learn new moves as you play through the game, the functionality of them are all exactly the same. They just do more damage and they cost more MP, which is just lame. Like, they don't actually add anything to the combat. It's not that good of a game. It's pretty mediocre.
Not from the gameplay standpoint. It's really not. Especially when you had to do like the special art and you had to mash the X button. I remember that being a pain in the ass.
Yeah, the point I'm trying to make here is just because I didn't like Xenosaga, don't take it that hard because, like, again, when I was in high school, I was fucking dumb. So take that for what you will. And so, yeah, it's just that my experience with the Xeno series in general, it hasn't been the best. So, unfortunately, I'm going to have to kill it off. So, yeah. I
would say as far as what I would kill off. So, like I said, I'm already hyped to play Tales of, so that's staying. I already said I'm extremely hyped to play Xenogears. So, that's staying. Now, remember, I went from Super Nintendo to Super Nintendo to Dreamcast to PS1. And on the Super Nintendo, like I said, I only owned Mario games. So I've never played a Zelda game before. I wanted to, but I also want to play Xenogears, and I also want to play Tales of. So out of those three, what I'm more hyped to play, I'm more hyped to play Xenogears and Tales of games than I am Zelda games. So
okay.
I would kill off Zelda. But
that's fair. That's fair, I guess.
But like I said, I do now that I have a 3DS. Everyone keeps on talking about Majora's Mask, and what was the other one under Link? Is
Ocarina of Time, probably.
Ocarina of Time. Those two.
That was the best Zelda game.
Everyone keeps on. I've been getting opinions from a lot of people, and they either say Ocarina of Time or
it was the most influential. Whether it's today or not is really up to personal opinion.
I'll play those two and see what those are about.
Majora's Mask is better.
Yeah, see,
Majora's Mask. Yeah, Majora's Mask is the superior out of those two, but I'd say definitely like give the rest of the series a chance because like Twilight Princess gives a completely different vibe than what Ocarina of Time did, or like for example, even what Majora's Mask did, because Twilight Princess is, I don't know, it's just like a different take on Zelda each time.
But for someone that does never owned a GameCube, probably never will. Same thing with a Nintendo Wii U. How would I play Twilight Princess?
Oh, you can emulate it. But I mean, it might be hard to find.
That's what I was thinking.
Not really.
Not really.
If you want a one half, I can rip you my version for the GameCube if you want. It's not a problem. You can play it.
That's late. Now we're talking 2025.
It's his gaming down to a year. God damn, I can't do that.
Yeah, before I get into Zelda, but now I have a 3DS. I was gonna play Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time. And
So when do you plan
Link Between
children?
Worlds.
So when do you plan to have
I
children?
love the
I
Link
just
Between
have to
Worlds.
question.
I don't know.
You could play Link
So-
Between Worlds
You
if you
gotta
have a
have to.
3DS.
Well, children.
Well, I mean,
Oh, I love the Link Between Worlds though. Just the art
we'll see about
factor.
Okay,
Well,
so
okay.
can I get my pick here before we die? Before we all
Before you
die?
die. Go ahead.
So my experience with the Tales of Series was not that good. It was very mixed, and I have not a real experience with a Xeno series in general. But I think it sounds more interesting than what Tales of does, because the Tales of thing is like, yeah, fantasy cliche. We
Which
put a
Tales of
twist on
have
that.
you played?
Wrong.
Which Tales of have you played?
Wrong.
I'm just asking you personally. Which one have you played?
Yo, Shintai,
Let the man finish.
I don't.
Let the man finish. Let the man finish before we go in.
No.
Let him finish. Go ahead.
So, okay. So I say, I'm not sure. Tales of is often very basic in its plots. It's not very complicated.
Wrong.
Shintai, we're talking with a man that actually reads novels most of the time, you know?
And
Not
you're
like-
implying I don't?
Well, you read more technical books, bro.
Huh?
What
What's
the fuck's that
technical?
supposed to mean?
What's that supposed to mean? What, mangas?
I don't read that many mangas.
No, but point is,
Got a lot of
I
money.
think from a fantasy standpoint, there is not much going on here. So I go for Tales of. Also, I don't like action RPGs in general, because I
I
don't
think for
see
you,
the point.
Nightmare, I would suggest Abyss just because of Luke as a
Wait,
character.
Can
I think
you-
you'd find
Can you tell me
interesting.
which ones you've played? The Tales of games that you have played?
People have told me I should play Tales of Berseria. I've invested 8 hours in it, and I don't want to return. I just don't.
So
which
you
ones
didn't
have
play
played?
any of them.
So which ones
What?
have you played?
I mean, as I said, I've played Tales of Berseria. I didn't really like it, and what I can glean from the plots of the rest, it's not very interesting. It's like, yeah, no.
Keep in mind, Nightmare is hard to please.
Yeah, no, that's not true. I'm easy to please. It's just that that the people hype things up. I have to go to the standards, you know.
So that your answer is the only ones you've played is a bit of Berseria.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I'm
I
not
don't-
the most qualified. I don't say that my pick here is the most qualified. You know.
I understand your.
But you did talk all that crap about Tales of not being
Like-
interesting when you
like-
haven't really played any of the. Okay, all right.
Yeah, I would.
Just drop it. Just drop it.
Yeah, that's what I was like, because I'm about to go on
I
you.
would
This podcast is about to go on for another hour if we do that.
so what he's saying is what I would say with Zelda.
Dude, stop! Drop it. We say drop it. We say drop it. You move the fuck on, son.
Your time's about to go in on Nightmare right now.
Alrighty.
But I have actually not so much bad about Zelda to say. It's nice. Play the games. I like them. There's nothing wrong with them most of the time.
Okay.
Okay, so you
So
definitely Tales. Okay,
Okay.
didn't play most of the Tales games. Okay. All right.
Exactly.
Let it go,
It's-
man.
it's-
Just let it go.
It's
Let it
action
go.
RPGs. It combines two things that don't work. So well.
Well.
Oh God.
Yeah, everybody wants to say something. Just go in.
It's never real action. It's never real RPG. So,
Okay, man.
Shut up. I've got a fucking concert to go to. It's like an hour drive. Just shut up and move on.
All right, people, we're gonna end the podcast here. On that lovely note, let's go with outros. Go ahead, Gab, if you're still.
Oh, I'm still here. Yeah. If you guys want to check out my channel, it is going to be linked down below. I mostly do streams recently, but I'm moving them over to Twitch. Other than that, I make JRPG videos semi-consistently.
Go ahead, Shintai.
Hey, it's your cringe king. Shin.
Your boy Shin.
Check me out on the Twitters,
On the Twitters.
YouTubes.
Go ahead, Bob.
Glad to be on as always. You can find me on YouTube at Bowser Carriga and Twitch at Real Bowser Carriga. I'm actually going to be streaming Xenoblade Chronicles 2 as soon as we get off the podcast, so feel free to swing by.
Nightmare?
It's Nightmare Alpha. I do things. I have my problems. You will probably shit on me because you do that. Because you do that. But, you know, I'm one of the classics, you know? So deal with it. I'm the old man in this podcast. Understand that. I'm coming from a different generation.
Riku?
Riku's on one, the only one here. Tales of Hearts is a pretty decent game. It's not shit. GA
I didn't say it was shit.
No, I'm not pointing any names.
I just said it was vanilla.
Yeah. I love vanilla. Vanilla ice cream is my favorite vanilla. GA is shit tier. Just throwing that out there.
Oh, wow. Oh, my God.
Yeah, we ended it with that. Light it on fire. Can't wait to play the rest of the game. I was kind of disappointed Pelvic Gaming wasn't here. I wanted to see what she was about, but maybe some other time. I'll be checking out Gab and I think I'm subscribed to all of you guys' channels here. I don't think I am to Gab, but enjoy all the content you guys put out. Glad to be on this podcast, hopefully in the future.
Cool
and,
beans.
Good podcast. Glad I made some new JRPG friends.
All right, people, and of course, it's the JRPG enthusiasts, the JRPG God, Shadow Elite, and we about to sign out right here. Tales of Hearts is crap. Chie is best girl, and you know, people need to play Tales of games. That's all I'm gonna say. All right, so
shade everywhere.
I'll see you guys next time. Peace.